Danny Trooper and the Forgotten Realms. Part 8, Beating the Creator.
Man, Danny, that was a close one. Sure glad that we got you up and around again. Now check this out, a memory from your past.
A valiant steed, a cloud of dust, and a triumphant palladium into the fray. It's the Masked Marshal. Go back in time with us to the exciting days of the Old West. The Masked Marshal rides again.
I'm gonna pump you full of lead.
Rustlers, well, come on then. You'll be no match for the Masked Marshal.
We've got to get out of here.
Who was that masked man?
That was a great memory of mine. A great memory. But these days, it just seems there isn't so much for me to do anymore. You know what I mean? The Old West is long gone, and people don't seem to care as much about cowboy heroes.
Ain't it the truth?
Oh shoot, listen to me. Gathering wool while you folks are trying to watch a story. And it will be an exciting story, folks. I've got a particular interest in the boy, Danny Trooper. Why am I so interested in him? Well, I reckon you'll see why as things unfold.
Hold on, I love this part.
In the meantime, I've got some rustlers to catch. Palladium into the fray.
Dan and Brett sat in comfortable chairs in the great white void. The heart of imagination both held a mug of steaming coffee in their hands. As the image of the Masked Marshal vanished, Dan sat there, staring at his cup of coffee, definitely dumbfounded.
Wasn't that great? That was the start of your first adventure. I mean, I know you weren't there to see it, but...
Look, I'm sorry. You seem like a nice guy and all, but, you say you're my creator?
I know it's a lot to take in.
So you write about me and my adventures?
Yeah. Well, 2 of them at least.
So I'm a fictional character?
Well, yes and no.
Yes and no?
I have a theory. Do you want to hear it?
I've got nowhere else to go.
Okay. Those of us who write, those of us who create, those of us who tell stories, the stories we tell, they come from us, but they're actually us describing alternate realities.
Oh boy.
No, stay with me. The reality I live in is maybe just one version or expression. And just like a radio or TV has many channels, so does the universe. It has all these different realities, all with their own unique parameters. Some of us sense these other realities. We're aware of them, so to speak. So when we write, when we create, we try to describe those realities to people. They call it fiction or art, but I'm not so sure it's us sharing these other realities with people.
Okay.
I know. A lot of people call me crazy. Believe me, some of the physics and math professors and teachers I know, they'll tell me there are no alternate realities. You ever try arguing about quantum mechanics with other people?
Can't say I have.
Well, it's something, let me tell you that. But look at this, Danny.
Dan.
Sorry. I know. So mature. Okay, watch this.
Brent stood up and waved his hand in front of him. The white void suddenly changed to millions, billions, maybe trillions of bright lights twinkling in the darkness. Dan also stood up, but his mouth was wide open in awe.
My goodness, it's full of...
Yeah, it's full of stars. I know. I use that quote a lot. I'm a Kubrick fan, all right? Sue me. But yeah, All those stars out there,
Yeah?
they're stories or realities. Take your pick.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, and those are just the ones that inspire playwrights. Over there, the novelists. And over there, the screenwriters, songwriters, musicians, painters, sculptors. I love to just watch them sometimes. The different realities. Get caught up in them. Marvel at them. It's truly amazing.
It really is. Wait, that one. That one just blinked out.
Yeah. Sometimes the stories, they get forgotten, you know?
Oh.
Forgotten realms. But sometimes they get rediscovered. A new age, a new audience, whatever. And then they burn bright again. Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty cool.
But if the Dark Mythmaker has her way, she'll snuff out all these stories for good. Forever.
I guess that's why I'm here. I always wondered. Just what I was supposed to do.
You and me both. Anyway, I kind of got the feeling you were at the end of a long journey. So if I was going to meet you, actually meet you, now might be my only chance.
That sounds slightly ominous.
Well, maybe, maybe not. But someone has to defeat the darkness, Dan. I guess, for whatever reason, that's you.
I do agree with you that it feels like it might be the end.
Well, now who's being ominous?
Okay. So, maybe I'm the chosen one, right? And let's say I buy that you're my creator. I mean, I'm not saying that I do, but has everything I've done just been scripted for me? Have I never been in control of my own actions?
Nightshade, in your first adventure, he met the guy who thought he created Nightshade, Gardner Schwartz, when in actuality, Schwartz just wrote about Nightshade's reality. Do you get it?
I think so.
But Commander Nightshade, he's a real piece of work, huh? He thought he had no creator, so he erased Gardner from existence itself. But that didn't really change things. Nightshade still lost. Again.
You still didn't answer my question. Am I acting on my own? Or am I just your puppet?
I can tell you this. When I write your stories, they just sort of come to me, you know? It takes me time to transcribe them, to hone them, to make them as suitable as I can for other people to read, hear, and see. I do the best I can. But your actions? I think they're your own.
Well, that's a relief. Then why? Why did I choose to forget Modmyth? Even if it was the power of the Wish Stone, it was still me that activated it.
You were 15. Losing your innocence, I suppose. There's a favorite verse of mine from 1 Corinthians. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood before me. Do you know it?
Sorry, I'm not much of a religious type. When you literally hang out with Norse deities, you sort of start to question, you know.
I get it. But as to why you gave up your quest for adventure, I'm not really sure.
You're my creator and you're not really sure?
Well, like I said, I never know where your adventures are going to end up. That's the fun of writing them. After your first adventure, and then your adventure in the Norse realms, I thought I had everything pretty much figured out for you. What would happen to you in the future? Happily ever after, you know? But, surprisingly, none of that happened. What I thought would happen to you didn't.
Well, glad to know I'm at least full of surprises.
Well, yes, except you were supposed to be the protector, you know?
So I've been told by everybody.
Anyway, took me over 10 years to get through to the Starlight Kingdom and Modmyth and have them get you back on track.
Why did it take you over 10 years?
I don't know why I didn't write about you more. Times I wanted to, but I always put it off. Things were getting so dark in my reality, and your own, I guess. I felt like I had to try. But even now, I don't know how this story ends.
This may surprise you, but that's kind of a relief, I think. That not even my own creator knows everything. That there's still a chance to change the story.
Oh, there's always a chance to change the story. Nothing is set in stone. Every day, we make choices, and that determines our path forward. You know what I mean?
I think so.
We can think back and wonder what would have happened if we made a different choice. But ultimately, the road ahead is the road ahead. Right?
Right. Okay. One more question.
Shoot.
Do you have a creator?
That's what I love about you, Dan. You always want to know more. Short answer? Yeah, I think I do. Sometimes I may have my doubts, but ultimately, I think I do.
Well, again, believe it or not, that's sort of a relief. It means we're both kind of in the same boat.
We are indeed. Hey, you know what? We've still got a little time left, I think, before you have to figure out how to save all of imagination. In the meantime, let's celebrate this momentous occasion.
Brent walks away and momentarily disappears into the white void. He returns a moment later, this time holding 2 beers. He opened them and handed one to Dan.
You're old enough for this now, so it's not like I'm giving booze to minors. A toast.
What do we toast to?
How about to adventure?
Works for me.
Ah, nothing better.
Brent?
Brent collapsed to the ground, his body convulsing. Black liquid began to dribble out of his mouth.
Brent!
Dan rushed to Brent's side. As he stared into Dan's eyes,
Told you. Don't know how this ends.
Brent convulsed once, twice, and then still. At that moment, the Dark Mythmaker made her appearance.
Don't know how this story ends? Don't worry. I do.